Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear students, the last video we took in details the digestive tube, the data show slides, as well as the microscopic slide. Now we're going to do the trial test. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Here is a section. Here is a section. From one side, I'm having a skin, and the other side, mucous membrane, between the muscle and glands. What this section is? I in a problem here. Is it lip or eyelid? Who can tell me? It's a lip. Why? Look between the epithelium and the mucous membrane here at A. This is called the lip margin. I cannot have hair follicle or the eyelashes, while in the lid I can see the hair follicle and the eyelashes. Additionally, in the lid, the glands present at the tarsus dense connective tissue. So, dear students, identify the three surface. A is the red margin, B skin, C mucous membrane or the inner surface. 1, 2, 3. 1 skin, keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. 2 muscle, orbicularis oris muscle, which is skeletal muscle. 3 is the labial gland. Identify the type of papillae. Here is the number A, circumvallate papillae. Why? 1, I'm not raising on the surface. 2, I am surrounded with the valley. 3, I'm containing many taste buds. B is filiform papillae, no taste buds, appears as a triangle or conical, covered with keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. C, fungiform papillae, appears as a fungus, fungiform papillae. D, papilla foliata, tongue rabbit. Okay, papilla foliata. Okay, and these are the taste buds, many taste buds. What is this, dear students? Identify the structure indicated by the arrow. They are taste buds. They are taste buds. Okay. What epithelium belong to? Neuroepithelium. Neuroepithelium. Okay. They are present on the sides of the papilla foliata. Appears at the sides between papilla foliata. This is part of the papilla foliata. It's formed of furrows and ridges. This is a section in a lip. The doctor here said that this is a section in a lip. This surface is what? It's the mucous membrane. Why? Because here the mucous glands and here non-keratinized. So 1, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. 2, the labial glands. 3 is the skeletal muscle, which is orbicularis oris. Here, dear students, this is the papillae. This papillae, not raised above the surface, contain valley and taste buds. So it is the circumvallate papillae, covered with non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. The red arrow is the valley. The yellow arrow is the taste bud. The blue arrow is the von Ebner serous gland, purely serous gland. Here, dear students, round the structure with lumen. Look at the epithelium. It is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. So I'm having esophagus, dog, and cat. Look between the epithelium and the muscle layer. I can see gland. So it is esophagus, dog. So identify the organ and be specific. Esophagus, dog. The epithelium pointed by the red arrow is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Layer indicated by the yellow line is the mucosa. The black line is the submucosa. The blue line is the musculosa, inner circular and outer longitudinal. The yellow arrow are the mucus glands, the esophageal mucus glands, while the blue arrow are the ducts that open at the surface. Here, dear students, large round structure with lumen. Lining epithelium is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, so it is esophagus. Dog or cat, look between the epithelium and the muscle layer. There is no gland, but there is well-developed muscularis mucosa, so it is esophagus cat. Structure pointed by the yellow and the black arrow. Yellow arrow is the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, while the black arrow is the muscularis mucosa. The red star is the lamina propria, while the black star is the submucosa. The layer lined by the green line is the inner circular, while the red is the outer longitudinal. Here, dear students, it is large round structure with lumen. Look at the epithelium, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, so it is esophagus. Dog or cat, look between the epithelium and the muscle layer. It is esophagus, dog. Number 1 is the lumen. Number 2 is the epithelium, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Number 3 is the lamina propria under the epithelium. Number 4 is the muscularis mucosa. Number 5, submucosa, contains the esophageal mucus glands. Number 6A, inner circular. 6B, outer longitudinal. And number 7 is the adventitia. Here, dear students, is the fundus. From where you know? Narrow, shallow pit. Pit to gland ratio 1:3 or 1:4. The arrow points to fundic pit, characterized of being shallow and narrow. So this organ is fundus of the stomach. Okay, dear students. Here is narrow, shallow pit, and these are glands that are crowded. So it is the fundus of the stomach. The black arrow points to the pit, which is narrow and shallow. The black line present at the mucosa. The cells pointed by the yellow arrow are acidophilic, so it is parietal cell. And the red arrow points to dark basophilic cells, which are the peptic cells. And the blue star here is the muscularis mucosa. Muscularis mucosa. The acidophilic cell, again, the acidophilic cell is the parietal cell, while the basophilic cell is the peptic cell. Here, dear students, less folded mucosa. The pit is wide and deep, wide and deep. Pit to the gland ratio 1:1. Mostly the cells are mucus secreting cells, appears vacuolated. The inner circular is very big. Why? Why the inner circular is very big? As it forms the pyloric sphincter. This is a section in the pylorus of the stomach. P for pit. G for glands. G for the glands, the peptic glands, whose type is mucus. They are mucus secreting cells mainly. The type of the gland is coiled branched tubular gland. Coiled branched tubular gland. MM is the muscularis mucosa. The blue line is the mucosa. The S represents the submucosa. IC inner circular, OL outer longitudinal. Here, dear students, if you want to know, branched, coiled, tubular. Here, dear students, is a long strip. It is a long strip. Here I'm having a section and here I'm having another section. Look first at the epithelium. This is the section in what this epithelium stands for. It is non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, and this is glands, mucous glands. So this, as if I'm seeing the esophagus duct. So it is gastroesophageal junction. The gland outlined with the black circle called the esophageal glands, which present at the submucosa. The type of gland is compound tubuloalveolar gland. While the gland circled with the red circle is the gastric gland. They are present at the connective tissue chorea in the mucosa. Here, dear students, finger-like projection between them air, so it is villi. The blue rectangle is villi. The yellow shape thing here surrounding the crypt. Between the crypt, I can see connective tissue. The green line indicates the connective tissue corium at the core of the villi. The connective tissue corium present in between the crypt and in the core of the villi. The black arrow points to the muscularis mucosa. Muscularis mucosa. Here, dear students, are the villi, finger-like projection, intestinal villi, lined by two types of cells. The black circle is the enterocyte, which are columnar with microvilli, while the blue circle is the goblet cell. Why they are villi? Finger-like projection in between them air. Connective tissue corium at the core of the villi. Here, dear students, crypts. I'm having crypts only. Crypts only, and between them connective tissue. So, is it small intestine or large intestine? Who can say, Doctor, it's a small intestine. Why? Because I can see the Paneth cell with basal basophilia and apical acidophilia. And the goblet cells are less than that present at the colon, so it is small intestine. 1 goblet cell, 2 connective tissue corium, 3 muscularis mucosa, 4 the Paneth cell. So it is small intestine. Identify the organ and be specific. Here I'm having villi and crypts, so I am in small intestine. What part? I'm having two, duodenum and ileum. Look between the mucosa and submucosa. I can see here, look between the mucosa and the musculosa. I can see here what, dear students? Glands, which are known as Brunner's glands, mucus secreting glands. So identify the organ. It is duodenum of small intestine. The green arrow is villi. The red arrow is crypt. The yellow arrow is muscularis mucosa. The black arrow is the Brunner gland. Marked by the black line is the muscle layer. What this organ? It is the pancreas. Usually the duodenum come with it, the pancreas, because it is very anatomically related. Very anatomically related. This is the duodenum and this is the head of the pancreas. Okay, dear students, what is this? Here I'm having villi, and here are crypts, so I am in small intestine. Duodenum or ileum, look between the villine crypts and the muscle layer. I can see patches or follicles of lymphatic follicles, which known as Peyer's patches. So it is ileum. Identify the organ, ileum. The black arrow, villi. Yellow, crypt. White, Peyer's patches. Green line, the musculosa. Okay, dear students, what is this? Should I say this is a section in villi, or you can say it's a villi? No, I can say. Why? Finger-like projection in between them space. So it is villi. A is the enterocyte, B is the goblet cell, and the red line is the connective tissue chorea. Here is the long strip, so it is junction. The most characteristic thing that this which is the pyloric sphincter or the inner circular layer of the duodenum. In the submucosa, here I'm having glands which known as the Brunner gland. I'm having villi and crypts. Now, this is a section in pyloro-duodenal junction. Name the abbreviation marked by the layers. S. Here is the pylorus, pyloric glands. D, here the villine crypts of the duodenum. PS, pyloric sphincter, which is the inner circular layer. G is the submucosa containing the Brunner's gland. CM is the inner circular layer. LM, outer longitudinal layer. Here, dear students, only crypts, many goblet cells. So it is the large intestine or the colon. The arrow 38 is the crypt. 39 is the goblet cell. 40 is the muscularis mucosa. A very nice picture of the colon. From where I know, wide, deep crypt, many goblet cells. This is a very nice section. How can differentiate between them both? Here I can see lymph follicle at one side. Here the lymph follicle all over. Here I can see only, I cannot see the villi. Here I can see villi and crypts. So A is appendix. A is appendix. Okay. B is ileum. Okay. First, why this is appendix? I do not have villi and having lymphatic follicle all over. Why this is ileum? I'm having villi and crypts and I'm having lymphatic follicle at one side, which is known as the antimesenteric. Here, dear students, is many sections. A, I'm having stratified squamous epithelium and mucous glands, so it is esophagus dog. B, I'm having villi and crypts and glands in the submucosa. I am duodenum. C, I'm having wide, deep crypts, many goblet cells. I am colon. D, shallow, narrow pit and colorful glands, acidophilic and basophilic. I am the fundus of the stomach. Here, dear students, 1 and 2 are two sections of the lower part of the intestinal crypt. Which is which? Number 1 is what and number 2 is what? Please, dear students, look and focus in a very important feature. Look at the goblet cells here and the goblet cells there. Number 1 less, number 2 many goblet cells. Look, dear student, at the letter A. I'm having basal, basophilia, and apical acidophilia, which is the Paneth cell. So, section 1, crypts of small intestine, while section 2, crypts of large intestine. A is the Paneth cell, basal basophilia and apical acidophilia. The blue arrow are the goblet cells. Layer indicated by the yellow line is the muscularis mucosa. A very nice picture. Again, dear students, this is the section in what? Only crypts and many goblet cells, and the crypts are wide and deep. It is colon or large intestine. The red line traverses the mucosa containing the crypts. The blue star lie in the mucosa, connective tissue aquarium or lamina propria. The red arrow points to the muscularis mucosa. The green line indicate outer longitudinal or the tinea coli. The blue line, the musculosa, which is formed of inner circular, the yellow, and outer longitudinal. This is a section in what? I can see Y-shaped the crypt and the lymphatic follicle. It is appendix rabbit. What's the layer in the yellow or red line? The yellow is the mucosa and the red is the submucosa. The yellow circle is the lymphatic follicle. Why it is appendix rabbit? Look at the shape of the crypt. Now, for the label diagram, this is the lip, one side skin, one side mucous membrane, between them skeletal muscle, near the mucus there is labial glands. Look at the red margin related to the hair follicle sebaceous gland. The fundus, narrow shallow pit, colorful, parietal, peptic, mucus secreting, muscularis mucosa, submucosa, 3 layers, inner oblique, middle circular, and outer longitudinal smooth muscles, then the serosa. The fundus, wide, deep crypt, mostly mucus secreting cells. The crypt wide and deep. submucosa narrow, very large inner circular, which form the pyloric sphincter, and then the outer longitudinal, then the serosa. Villi and crypts, we are talking about small intestine. Here, the goblet cells and absorptive cell. Look between the mucosa and the muscle layer. I'm having Brunner glands, so I am in the duodenum. The ileum, villi and crypts, and I can see the Peyer's patches at the submucosa, then inner circular, outer longitudinal, and then the serosa. Large intestine, wide, deep crypt, many goblet cells. I can see here solitary lymph follicle, Taenia coli, inner circular, outer longitudinal, arranged in 3 bundles, the outer longitudinal, and I can see here appendices epiploid. Dear students, we have finished the gastrointestinal tract. We finished the gastrointestinal tract. To summarize, we have oral cavity, microscopic slides. For the oral cavity, we have the lip and the tongue. For the esophagus, we have the esophagus duct. Stomach, we have the fundus and pylorus. Small intestine, we have duodenum with the pancreas and the ileum. Large intestine, the colon. High power slide, the crypt of the large intestine. Thank you, dear. Inshallah, next video will be the gastrointestinal glands. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.